in the frigid waters of Conception Bay, where the North Atlantic crashes against the rugged cliffs of Newfoundland. There lies a small island that has become synonymous with one of Canada's greatest unsolved mysteries. Bell Island, with its towering cliffs rising 45 meters above the churning sea, and its population of just over 2,000 hardy souls, would seem an unlikely stage for an event that would baffle scientists, attract government attention, and spawn countless theories for decades to come. Yet on a quiet Sunday morning in April of 1978, this remote outpost became the epicenter of something so extraordinary, so inexplicable that it continues to echo through the corridors of mystery to this very day. The morning of April 2, 1978, began like countless others on Bell Island. The residents of this mining community, nestled in the embrace of Conception Bay on Newfoundland's Avalon Peninsula, went about their Sunday routines with the unhurried pace that comes from living in one of Canada's most isolated corners. The island, known for its rich iron ore deposits and underground mines that had sustained the community for generations, sat peacefully beneath the vast Atlantic sky. Children played in yards still touched by winter's chill, while their parents prepared for another week in this tight-knit community, where everyone knew everyone else's name, and where the rhythm of life moved to the ancient beat of tide and season. Then, without warning, without precedent, without explanation, the morning calm was shattered by something that defied every natural law the islanders thought they understood. It began with a sound, a high-pitched humming that seemed to emanate from the very air itself, growing louder and more intense with each passing second. This was not the familiar whistle of Atlantic winds through the island's rocky outcroppings, nor the distant rumble of machinery from the mines below. This was something entirely alien. A sound that made the hair on necks stand upright and sent shivers down spines, as if the atmosphere itself was crying out in distress. What followed next would be seared into the memories of every witness for the rest of their lives. From the clear blue sky above, dozens of people reported seeing a beam of multicolored light, brilliant and otherworldly, descending like a divine finger pointing directly at their small island home. The light was unlike anything they had ever seen, shifting through the spectrum with an intensity that hurt to look at directly. It moved with purpose, this column of impossible radiance, as if guided by some intelligence beyond human comprehension, before striking the earth with a force that would be felt and heard over 100 kilometers away. The explosion that followed was not merely loud, it was apocalyptic in its magnitude. The sound wave rolled across the landscape like the voice of an angry god, rattling windows in St. John's, 20 kilometers to the east, and causing people as far away as the mainland to stop in their tracks and wonder what cataclysm had just occurred. On Bell Island itself, the blast was so powerful that it shook homes to their foundations, cracked walls, and sent residents diving for cover, certain that some terrible accident had befallen their community. The very ground beneath their feet trembled as if the earth itself was in pain, and for those terrifying moments, it seemed as though the world might be coming to an end. But the explosion was only the beginning of the strangeness that would define this day. As the initial shock wore off, and residents cautiously emerged from their homes, they discovered that their familiar island had been transformed into something resembling a scene from science fiction. The electrical infrastructure, the lifeline that connected this remote community to the modern world, had been devastated in ways that seemed to defy the laws of physics. Power lines had not simply been damaged or knocked down, they had been melted, their copper conductors fused into twisted, unrecognizable shapes as if subjected to heat so intense that it belonged more in a steel foundry than in the open air of a Newfoundland morning. The destruction extended far beyond mere infrastructure damage. Livestock, those hardy animals that had adapted to the harsh Atlantic climate and had weathered countless storms, lay dead across the island, killed by electrical forces so powerful that they had overwhelmed the animals' nervous systems in an instant. Television sets in homes throughout the community had not simply been damaged, they had literally exploded, their cathode ray tubes shattered by electromagnetic forces that no one could explain. The very air seemed charged with residual energy, making metal objects spark to the touch, and causing compass needles to spin wildly, as if the magnetic field itself had been disrupted. Most mysteriously of all, witnesses reported seeing floating balls of fire, orbs of pure energy that danced through the air like living things before disappearing as suddenly as they had appeared. These were not the familiar St. Elmo's fire that sailors knew from their time at sea, nor any other natural electrical phenomenon that science could easily categorize. They were something entirely new, something that seemed to exist at the boundary between the physical world and something far more mysterious, defying every attempt at rational explanation. As word of the extraordinary event spread beyond the confines of Bell Island, it attracted attention from sources that the residents could never have imagined. The explosion had been so powerful, so energetic, that it had triggered sensors on American nuclear test detection satellites orbiting high above the Earth. These sophisticated instruments, designed to monitor for nuclear weapons testing anywhere on the planet, had recorded an energy signature so significant that it immediately raised red flags in defense establishments on both sides of the border. The fact that this reading had come not from some remote test site in the desert or the depths of the ocean, but from a small island in Canadian waters, made the event even more intriguing to those whose job it was to monitor such things. Within days, researchers from Los Alamos National Laboratory, the same facility that had helped create the atomic bomb and remained at the forefront of weapons research, arrived on Bell Island. Their presence added an air of gravity and secrecy to an already mysterious situation. These were not the usual government investigators or insurance adjusters that might be expected after a strange accident. These were scientists from one of America's most sensitive research facilities, and their interest in what had happened on Bell Island suggested that the event was far more significant than a simple freak accident or natural phenomenon. The theories that emerged to explain the Bell Island boom were as varied as they were extraordinary. Some suggested that the island had been struck by a rare form of lightning known as ball lightning, a poorly understood phenomenon that could potentially account for some of the electrical damage observed. Others proposed that a meteor or piece of space debris had exploded in the atmosphere directly above the island, releasing enormous amounts of energy in a concentrated burst. More controversial theories suggested that the island had been the target or accidental victim of some sort of experimental weapon, perhaps a test of electromagnetic pulse technology or directed energy weapons that were rumored to be under development by various military organizations. The most exotic explanations ventured into the realm of the extraterrestrial, suggesting that Bell Island had experienced some sort of alien visitation or had been caught in the crossfire of an otherworldly conflict. These theories, while dismissed by mainstream science, found fertile ground among those who believed that the combination of strange lights, impossible energy levels, and the utter uniqueness of the event pointed to something beyond current human understanding. The fact that no conventional explanation seemed to adequately account for all the observed phenomena only added fuel to these more speculative fires. Yet, despite decades of investigation, analysis, and theorizing, the Bell Island boom remains as mysterious today as it was on that April morning in 1978. The physical evidence, the witness accounts, the satellite data, all point to something extraordinary having occurred, but none provide a definitive answer to what actually happened. The island has returned to its quiet rhythms, the damage has been repaired, and life has gone on, but the mystery endures. A reminder that there are still things in this world that resist our attempts to categorize and understand them. Today, Bell Island continues to draw visitors, fascinated by its unsolved mystery. Tour guides point out the locations where the strange craters were found, where the power lines melted, and where witnesses saw the impossible lights dancing in the air. The story has become part of the island's identity, a source of both pride and puzzlement for residents who witness something that science still cannot fully explain. It serves as a humbling reminder that despite all our technological advances and scientific understanding, there are still mysteries in this world that can leave us speechless. Still events that can shake our confidence in what we think we know about the universe around us. The Bell Island boom stands as perhaps Canada's loudest, most well-documented unsolved mystery, a testament to the fact that even in our modern age of satellites and sensors, of instant communication and global awareness, there are still things that can happen in broad daylight, witnessed by dozens of people, recorded by sophisticated instruments, and yet remain completely beyond our ability to understand or explain. It reminds us that mystery is not just the province of ancient legends or remote folklore, but can erupt into our everyday world without warning, leaving us to wonder what other secrets the universe might still be keeping from us. And so, the mystery of Bell Island continues to haunt us. 4 decades later, still defying explanation, still challenging our understanding of what is possible in this world. Perhaps someday, new technology, new discoveries, or new witnesses will finally unlock the secrets of that April morning. But until then, it remains a tantalizing reminder that Canada holds mysteries as vast and profound as its endless wilderness. What do you think happened on Bell Island that fateful morning? Was it a freak, natural phenomenon, a secret military experiment, or something far stranger still? The truth whatever it may be, continues to elude us, buried somewhere between science and the supernatural. If you enjoyed diving into this incredible Canadian mystery with us today, make sure to hit that like button and share this story with anyone who loves unsolved mysteries and unexplained phenomena. Do not forget to subscribe to West is Best for more fascinating tales from across our great nation, from coast to coast to coast. We explore the stories that make Canada unique, the mysteries that keep us wondering, and the legends that define our shared heritage. Until next time, keep questioning, keep wondering, and remember that sometimes the most incredible stories are the ones that really happened.